Well, it's a whole new episode of Yeah, I've Played.
Definitely another day, another time.
Another day, another time, but the same
different.
shirts.
You better believe it.
For consistency. Baby, my name is Andrew Taylor.
I'm Matt Hall.
And I'm Jordan Hill.
It's the third episode of our deep dive into heavy fucking rain.
Trips, baby.
Last time
How many
around,
inches are we up to now, Matt?
I don't remember.
Almost as much as my soft penis. We're at 1.862 inches.
Wow, can we put a cool inch meter down, like here on the screen?
Can we put a cool inch meter?
I've already edited the first episode and uploaded it, so I'm not going back.
It won't be hard to jump back in.
Yeah, it'll be really easy to retroactively.
And, we don't have fiber optic internet here. You can only get it if you're a business, and I would love to get faster internet because uploading a 60 gigabyte video
It's rough.
takes like 18 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe with the growth of Hidden Machine, if we file it as an LLC.
We already looked into that, and it's unless we all want to pitch in like about $1,000.
Really? I
Yeah,
thought that was
it's
cheap
gonna
to
be
do.
hard to.
I thought it was cheap to
No,
form
but
an
also
LLC.
it doesn't matter. Like you would need to be in a resident. Like you can't be a
Commercial space.
residential zone space.
Yeah, we're zoned as a residential.
So it need to be
Damn.
like in a. If we got an office.
Then that office could have fiber optic internet.
Yeah. But I would also
But
need
we
to
wouldn't
go to the office just to upload a video. Not worth it.
You do
But
remotely.
hey, you know what is worth it is playing Heavy Rain. So last
Really
time
worth
around, Ethan had just picked up the shoebox, the mysterious shoebox.
After he lost fucking Sean.
Norman Jaden is been introduced to the police force. He's there. He's working with
Being very normal.
very
Calling
normal.
everybody
He thinks
else
everyone
weird.
else is strange.
Everybody else is the weird one.
Scott
As he's
Shelby.
shaking.
Scott Shelby is still investigating the murders and
Still
talking to parents
saving
of the
lives.
He's
victims.
being a good boy.
And the unnamed woman had a scary dream.
And some nice tits.
Big honking. Well, they weren't really.
They were regular. They were average.
They were regular.
They were
She had human breasts.
they weren't all.
They were. Where
No,
they were
she
supposed
didn't
to be.
have like 8 teats, like some sort of
There
animal.
weren't mouths instead of nipples.
Some images that you may find.
Like a
on the
Dante's Inferno.
I was gonna say in Dante's Inferno, where I think they open up and like fucking bees come out of them or
The
something.
tongues come out too of one of them.
Tongues,
One of them.
Jesus.
I was thinking Devil May Cry. I was like, what? Devil
May Cry took a
May's
turn.
Cry. Yeah, Cleopatra. Yeah, that was brutal.
Chapter 12, the Motel.
Hotel, the
So,
Holiday Inn.
Ethan's at the motel. He's like, I drove into the first motel I saw. I think he just wanted to like get away.
Yeah, he didn't want to go home. I wouldn't want to go home either.
And he's got
Stressful.
the shoebox. And the shoebox is sitting on the desk in the motel.
I don't understand why he went to a motel. I guess because like he just wanted to get. He could open it in his car. Like I don't know why he had to go to a motel. Like he lives in this city
Well, he doesn't want to go back to his house. Period. I think.
because of the paparazzi.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe
Yep. Yeah, he's trying to escape all the attention that's on him. So he's like, well, I'm not going to go camp in the woods. I'm going to go to a motel.
all right.
Jeez, man, I hope you never have paparazzi after you. You're going to be fucked.
I don't think it'll happen.
But so he fucking he decides to break open the shoebox, right?
No.
No.
I decided to procrastinate. I looked at the mini fridge, which was empty.
Checked out the mini fridge. I went to the
Kick it closed.
I didn't waste any fucking time.
I went to the bathroom.
Did you have a big piss?
Got a fully animated, fully audio piss,
Big
Yep.
piss.
and then you can flush after.
Yep.
Sounds like
Glad
you're frying chicken
that's
in
another-
there.
I always look at the toilet and I flush. All right, I don't flush. I just walk away. I think, am I going to flush? No. I just walk away. I looked in the closet.
Nothing in the closet.
I looked in the medicine cabinet.
Medicine cabinet.
Nothing.
I walked outside onto the little porch.
I didn't do that. I didn't go to the porch.
There's a little balcony. You can kind of just look out.
Go from the porch.
But eventually you do. Oh, I checked the news too.
Oh, okay.
And they're
They
like,
say local father of origami killer victim holed up at motel. Oh, it turns out
like almost, yeah. They're basically like, they're basically just like, yeah, another local boy, father, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I don't want to see that shit. And then, so I,
I ignored
opened the
all of
box.
that. I just fucking sat right down to the desk. I was like, I'm getting into this thing.
So you open the box.
I like that you watched that on the news, and Ethan's like, oh, I can't be watching this. Anyway, I'll go open this box that has to do with the death of my son.
Not death. Potential death.
Potential death.
Kidnapping.
Disappearance. So you open the box, you see a handgun and some other items.
There's a ham gun.
And it's I don't know if you guys have ever seen a handgun. They're heavy.
Yeah.
Pistols are even a small one. They have weight because they're
Metal.
metal.
Yeah. They have
Lot
to
of
Dense.
working parts
withstand
inside.
an
Very
explosion,
dense, yeah.
He takes the shoebox and
Just
dumps
dumps
it.
it out. Yeah.
It was only from maybe like a half a foot or a foot at most. You don't drop a pistol. You don't know
No.
if the safety's on. You don't know.
You don't know if it's
Very
loaded.
dangerous
You don't know if
thing
there's
to
one in
do.
the chamber. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about it. You don't drop a handgun.
Also, this is a mystery box that has a gun in it. Like, he's not just
Let me
like,
just- Like I'm dumping out Legos on the fucking floor. You know what I mean?
opens
Like,
it, looks at it, and then goes,
huh?
so stupid.
That is not how I take things out.
Someone wrote that, motion capped it, animated it, colored it,
I also,
put
yeah.
the camera in. Like it was like there was a group of adults who all said, "This is good."
I also use this as an example to show Steph that, like, the speed at which you do the motions affects how fast they do them, too.
I did try to
use this as an example to show Steph how to properly
dump a
handle
gun.
pistol.
I tried to dump it slowly for that reason because I was like, "There's a
said-
gun in here."
I
And
said,
so
when
it's
I-
like-
Yeah.
but then at the end, you still just commit to.
I would have gone, let's take these items out one by one, look at them.
I would have
that's-
maybe first taken the gun out and
I'm
been like,
also-
"Okay,
Yeah,
Put that away
let's
from me.
move that guy out and then dump the rest.
Oh, the rest is just origami figures. I could, whatever.
yeah, you can dump that shit out."
So in there, there's a
Stupid shit.
there's a number of numbered origami animals. Each one's different color. There's a handgun. There's also a cell phone.
yeah,
Cell phone and a data card.
yeah, little SIM
Kind of
card.
looked like it was not a SIM card.
No,
SIM
sorry.
cards are very small. It looked like a compact flash card. Do you remember those?
Yes.
They were. It was pretty much like it's like a double wide SD card, pretty much. But it wasn't. I think
It looked like a DS cart.
It did
looked
kind of
like
look like a DS card, but like thicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A little chunkier.
Like a mix between a GBA and a DS cart.
Yeah, it was not a real thing, but it was cool. And then, well,
Well, yeah, you put the little thing in the phone, and you see a video.
it's another. Sorry, the cell phone is another like kind of Resident Evil 4-esque like technology device. It looks like
Yeah.
it's like this like kind of hardcore like industrial rugged flip phone.
It's like the one, like, my dad got, like, the
screws
same
in it.
flip phone for, like, years after it switched over to new phones, and it was called, like, the Boulder. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was rugged, and it was waterproof, and, like, you could drop it from fucking
It
story.
almost looked like it was made out of metal. Yeah. It was very.
And it was like, that's what this reminded
It
me
also
of.
had a really big, nice video screen on it. That
Yeah.
like in the first time you see it, it looks very high res, and the second time you see the screen, it looks
like
like
dog
it's
shit.
actually like a like a dot matrix, like almost like a Game Boy screen where
Yeah.
you're actually seeing like all of the individual
vertical
pixels.
lines.
Yeah, like, I just fired up my Game Boy Pocket,
Game Boy
for the
Pocket,
first time.
the blue one,
in,
with
like, probably a decade yesterday.
with Pokemon Blue.
Still running. And it did the same thing where you fire it up, and you see, like, and you can see each individual pixel, and, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's fucking...
very
That's the first one. That was cool. I forgot you could control the contrast on those.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
helps
So-
you see in the low light situations.
Anyway, the video
you
that
do
you
it.
see
It's a
on the
wheel.
phone.
It's a wheel.
Yeah, I'm spinning the wheel.
Video you see on the phone.
Who is it?
It's Sean. and he's,
Sean!
He's in a.
He says Sean.
He's in a sewer grate,
Yeah,
and it's filled with water.
it's
filling.
filling. Yeah.
Well, it's
And he says-
yeah, it's
There's
not,
also it's already
not
it's
totally
already
full,
like
but
waist deep maybe.
he's submerged in water.
yeah.
And it's dude. This
getting
is,
pruny.
He's tired.
This is one of
He's
these.
freaking pruny.
This is one of these like serious moments that kind of like punctuate the game where you're like, he's just like, Dad, I'm cold, help me, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like I'm like getting misty eyed watching this kid, this helpless kid,
And Ethan's like,
being tortured. Weirdly
Ethan has-
unreactive.
I don't know. I think he's in shock.
He like shakes a little, but I don't know.
But he's like, well, I have the hope and relief that he's alive.
He was happy about that, yes. Well, happy.
And basically, that like you get a note that it all. I can't remember what it because it says it on the video as well or on the phone. But you get like basically, I have it written down here. Are you prepared to show courage and save your son?
Yeah.
So in a basically it reminds me a lot, and I've heard this comparison elsewhere. It's very similar to like the first Saw movie.
I was saying that's what I
Oh
thought
yeah.
instantly.
I've never seen any of those movies, so I don't.
Really?
First one's all right.
First one I think is a probably pretty decent
It's
movie. The rest you just watch
a
for
great
the traps.
concept where basically
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
we're here in this place. We need to commit to these like insane trials, and it's like why? Like why are we here? Why do we end up here?
Yeah.
And it's like almost like there's like a little bit of detective work going on in the movie.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not just
The
it's
horrible
not,
traps.
Yeah, it's not just torture.
I just
porn.
I skipped over that whole, admittedly, like to just the gore porn, torture,
I
the
watched
hostile
it, like,
movies.
6 months
You know
ago.
what I mean?
I
Like,
watched the hostile
yeah.
movies like because I was like when it came out I was like not for me. But it's been like 10 or 12 years.
Yeah.
I was like, let me look at this with a different eye now. And
I think
the first one's the best. In
first
all of them.
one's legitimately it feels like a pretty solid movie. The rest it like gets into like the history of of Jigsaw and the killer, and you're just like, what the fuck? But like those are still worth watching to see because I think the inventive traps are pretty interesting. And usually, if you kind of ignore the story a little bit, the reasons that the characters are in those scenarios can be a little compelling.
You've invented my trap card.
You've invented my trap card.
So, basically, Ethan finds out he has to face 5 trials, and each trial is attached to one of these origami figures. You open the thing, and it gives you address, and you go to the address, and you complete the trial, and it gives you a letter, and the letters will form the name of the location to where Sean is being held.
Yeah, like a hangman game, kind of. Is how he describes it.
Critical problem.
Yes.
If you were to achieve one of those and then you get a couple letters from the hangman, that is like almost all you would need to find that location.
You think so, but what if there's streets that have very similar names?
Yeah.
Also, you don't have the address. You don't have the number.
That's true. I think
I'm only bringing this up because
I guess
this is the fucking game. This is what the game. This happens. And when you're there,
I guess there
you
would
do
be-
have to make a choice, and you don't have everything you need, even though you think you might.
Okay.
Not to
'Cause
spoil
that's
anything,
right.
but it's like you. This is literally what you're working toward. And when you look at the map, you're like, oh, of course, I'm just gonna guess the name. It's like, oh shit, it could be this or this or this.
Oh, so they make it work. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know because, especially in our modern age, I would argue if there was, like nowadays, if I said like, if I gave you the amount of digits and like characters for an address, and with the context of it being within a specific city, especially a small city like ours, like you'd probably be able to figure it out with just the amount of characters that you need, or at least narrow it down heavily. You know what I mean?
There's a
You know what I'm saying?
lot. There's a lot more. As someone who's worked at a couple pizza places in this area, there's a lot more streets than you are aware of. You
Right.
know what I mean? We all like. I think everybody kind of exists in their own bubbles, even in small cities.
So
You know
you
what I
can
mean? In
begin
small
narrowing
towns,
it down.
yeah, you could maybe be like. But even then, it's like you're like, okay, there's 5 letters in there. You're like,
Right.
okay, well that's like 30, 40 streets. You know what I mean? You're like, there's 2 E's in the middle. You're like, okay, that's 15 streets. You know what I mean? Like, so there's all those different things where I'm like, I think it would be much more difficult than we'd think. You know
Right.
what I mean? To actually narrow it down. You could maybe come up with a word, but even then, there's a Pine Street here. There's a Pine Street in a town over. You know what I mean? There's a Pine
would
Street,
need a couple
and we're in a very
extra-
Pike
small.
Street.
Yeah, and there's a Pike Street. You know what I mean? And we live in a small area where it's like there's 10 minutes to get into another town.
Right.
You know what I mean? With another Main Street. You know what I mean? Or another Oak Street. You know, so it's like.
I'm willing to bet. Yeah, I wouldn't super narrow it down, but I wonder if you had like if you were able, if like a police force or like the FBI, because then they could look into the logs.
Maybe with
That's-
Airy.
This is the game. This is what's. I mean, this is what we're getting into. So
Alright, cool.
you're gonna put this theory to the test.
All right, I'm excited too.
So
But first,
chapter 13 is the kickoff meeting. So basically, we leave Ethan in chapter 12. He's like, all right, well, I guess I got to go to this place where,
Say
it
bye,
told me to
buddy.
go. Chapter 13, FBI profiler Norman Jaden is basically briefing Blake and Perry.
what a scene!
So he's got a
Little clicker.
little clicker that controls the projector.
I was just going through it like as
I was
fast.
just scrolling through it.
It prompts you as to when you
No,
should
I like
do it.
that because you can do it whenever, and you can kind of just like read them at your own leisure. And it's most of the stuff that was in Airy already.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it should be Airy. I don't know why.
Because usually it'd
I'm
be
thinking of Ari Shafir.
Well, and it would be AIR if you want the air sound. You know what I
Right.
mean? Not ARI. So you're like airy, and I think it's because they're not native English speakers, or at least maybe they're native English speakers. They don't pronounce
Well,
words the same way we do.
But it is
in the
added
game.
reality, so it makes sense. It's Ari, like added reality. Ari.
Yeah, because then it's augmented, so it'd be.
I think it's
Yeah. So if it's augmented, it would be Ari. But if it's added, it should be Airy.
Airy,
That's how he
airy,
says it. Airy.
airy.
Harry Carey.
I could go for
Hi,
some
everybody.
airy time right now.
Really go for some airy time.
Wouldn't mind firing up the special program I have on airy.
You're just jerking off in the middle of the police station.
It plays our Only fuck 2. I can't play the actual game, but I can watch the review. He didn't pixelate all of it.
He's basically given his assessment of, look, we know the victims are all in this vicinity, and he goes, and Blake's like, oh, and what is this, so this
mad.
loop, this area? And
How
he goes,
big
well,
is that?
it's
Blake
10,
is being a big fuck right here. I got so mad.
it's 10 square miles. And Blake goes, oh, great, 10 square miles. Must be 10,000 people living. I said,
Absolutely
I
not.
said, wait, am I insane? Is 10,000 people in 10 square miles of like a normal city?
That can't be.
Is that? I don't know.
That doesn't.
I have no.
I know that's.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's much larger than it would seem, but
It seems reasonable. There's 20,000 people in the city of Plattsburgh.
Right, but is the city of Plattsburgh 20 square miles?
I don't think so.
Right. How many square miles is Plattsburgh?
I don't know.
Can we figure this out?
Yeah.
I'm so fucking confused because I was like, either that's totally reasonable or not at all. I don't know. 10 square miles doesn't seem like a ton of space to fit 10,000 people.
It's a lot of space.
No.
10 square miles is pretty big.
Obama.
Yeah, we're 6.59 square miles.
Plattsburgh.
Plattsburgh.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. And there's 19,000 people here. And we don't have high rises.
How? Huh? Where are they all? Where are they all? Where are they?
There's a lot of children. Children count on censuses, you know what I mean? And fucking, I don't know. A lot of people don't leave their home.
Basically, you're saying, like, look, I know that it seems like the bodies are moved, like, shortly after they die. It seems like he's using, like, rainwater to possibly drown them, which lines up with what we saw.
Yeah, which lines up with the timeline also, where it's like every fall, only when there is heavy rain.
You're connecting all the dots.
You're basically saying, like, look, I think the killer is, putting mud on the faces of the victims to keep them anonymous to them. Like, this is very personal.
Yeah.
This is like a deep psyche kind of thing, and like, I have some people that I think it could be.
You've got to narrow down to 2 suspects, if I remember right.
Yeah.
That, like, in that area that are, you know what I mean, seem like the most likely.
Right, and so, like, you're presenting all this stuff, and every time you present a piece of evidence here that is based on very good detective work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Blake says something very snide, just like, oh, what'd you do, read that in a book, you little sissy?
What the fuck? I was getting.
How did you guys, because you can choose to remain calm.
Stay calm, or I stayed calm. And then, like, I think the other option is go at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not until, like, they word it differently by, like, the 5th... So I fucked it up.
I waited till the very end.
Yeah.
And then he goes... He's like, oh, we've been doing just fine. He goes, yeah, well, has your method so far, like, prevented the deaths of 8 other kids?
Yeah.
And he's like, you fucking asshole! And he knocks over a chair.
It's so funny.
And then you guys get into it, a little scuffle, and Perry's like, break it up.
Yeah. I, like, made the mistake, I thought, because I said, we have the 2 suspects or whatever, and then Blake says something like, well, what's, you know what I mean, but we're just going to go knocking on 100 fucking doors or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like, no.
And then like, so the responses were calm or, like, go after him. So I thought it was saying go after the suspect.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to stay calm, but I selected go after him.
Listen here,
and I'm like, I'm so fucking sick of you, you fucking asshole. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, oh no. And then he pops off, and it's then, and then, like Matt said, and then Perry's like, you stop swinging dicks.
I think there's like 4 or 5 of those where he has this, like, Blake has his little snotty response. Like, the first 2, I was like, stay calm. And then the third one, he was still giving me lip, and I was like, put him in his place. So I gave him a little energy. And then, like, he did it 2 more times, and I was like, fuck it. I said, go for it. when he does kick that chair, you stupid asshole! And that's like an idiot. But what's silly is that they agree to, and maybe there's some other details that I miss, but the 2 team up right after. And they go,
well, you're the 2 people assigned to
suspect.
It's
just hilarious to me that they're, like, literally about to fight, and then they're like, okay, let's go.
Well, yeah, because he's the head detective on the case, and then you're the profiler.
Yeah,
so
and you're partners.
Yeah, you have to.
Sucks.
Yeah. It sucks.
And it sucks that Perry's just kind of like, come on, guys.
I remember when you first, when you were checking out that first dead body, and that first time that you play as Norman Jaden, everyone's like, Blake is such an asshole. They're like, there's just a lot of like, Blake is an asshole. And I remember not really experiencing that. I was like, he seemed kind of gruff, and maybe he's stressed out. Maybe he's been awake for 23 hours. But this moment is cemented. I'm like, this guy is a fucking asshole.
Well, and also, I don't know, did you guys, I forgot to mention it earlier, but did you interact with Blake when the first time you're in the police station? Because he mentions, instead of going to the press conference, he's like, I think I saw Blake earlier. I should go say hi.
Yeah, I go talk to him. He goes, I'm kind of busy right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're like,
and I go, okay, just let me know when you're available.
Yeah,
I did that
but he was very dismissive of you, and I was like, maybe that's because I was at the crime scene. You know what I mean? Because at the crime scene, I was very much like, he started talking to me, and I like stopped following him.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You coming?" And I was like, "No, I'm gonna keep looking at this shit." And he was like, "Okay," you know. And then came up and was like, "You better fucking tell me everything you fucking find."
When I was at the crime scene, he's like, "I'm heading out." I was like, "Yeah, I've seen enough. I'm leaving too." And then I walked with him, and I had to wait for him to cross under the tape before I could cross under the tape. We couldn't go at the same time, and like it gave me wait like an extra 5-10 seconds. I was like, wait, am I not? I was very confused because it had to like load him leaving.
You gotta go look before at the dead kid again.
You gotta go just poke him a couple times.
Yeah.
I screenshotted the dead kid. So
Pretty good.
I tried to stay calm as long as I could. Eventually, you do get in the scuffle, but then next chapter, Nathaniel, chapter 14,
Nathaniel.
knocking on a door. Knock on the door again, and you go. He basically says something like, "No one's here. It's no use.
This is a waste of time."
And it's like,
Which so clashes
It's like-
so hard with what he was just like adamant about before.
bad writing. Bad writing.
Ugh.
Very bad writing. Because he could go, "No one's here. Like, well, let's check out this other lead and come back."
We'll come back later, yeah. Or knock on the neighbor's door and be like, when's he
maybe we
usually
can ask
home? You know
around.
what I
What's
mean?
up with your
See if they know when they come home.
Do you want to
yeah.
wait here like 10, 15 minutes? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Like, because at the end of the previous scene, you basically say you have less than 72 hours if the weather reports are correct to save this child.
Because it's like something like 6 inches of rainwater
Right.
is what ends up killing them every time. That's the accumulation that is necessary.
Right,
So Blake is like, let me knock on the door. Let me try my special knock. And he just kicks the door open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
I thought he was going to pick the lock.
yeah, he goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't think that's totally legal." And I'm like, it's not totally. It's in fact, it's entirely not legal.
That's
It's not even not totally legal.
which
It's
Blake
just
says-
100%.
Call the cops.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
an asshole.
That's what I love is like whenever a cop is like committing a crime and they say that to each other, it's like so funny. It's the funniest shit. Oh man.
But then you just go
I
in-
love them. I love what they do.
I love playing a video game as a real cop. Where
Real good.
I love watching abuses of power
Well,
through my
I do
screen.
think sometimes justice is found
Justice isn't found sitting at a desk.
not at a desk, but at the same time, ooh. You know, like, ooh.
So you go into this guy Nathaniel's house, and this is some serial killer shit for sure. He's got like
A million crucifixes.
hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, and all over the walls.
every wall.
He has like scripts written on the wall.
But it's all like
seemingly in
religious
blood.
stuff. And
yeah,
and,
it could just be crazy man activity.
Yeah, and so Blake's like, yeah, we picked
like
up
a
this
little-
guy. He told me I was the Antichrist.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, were you harassing
That's
a
where I'm
mentally
at. I'm
ill
like,
person?
I have that in my notes. I'm like, is Blake just harassing this crazy man? And yes, he's
Yeah,
just
that's entirely what he's
harassing
doing.
this crazy man.
Yeah, and so we're walking around the apartment, and I scan the whole place. I look
Yeah.
at everything, and I'm like, we should
ended
go.
I ended on the crucifix room.
Okay.
I like started on the other ones and then came back and did the main
Well,
room.
I'm saying to myself, like, or I even said to Blake, I think, oh, this is a waste of time. Like, it's very clear that he's not a killer. Like,
Yeah.
we should go. This is not. Blake's ignoring me.
Yes.
He won't even react to me.
No, he won't say anything. More than once. There's another moment in a minute where you try to like talk to Blake, and he won't even fucking acknowledge that you're saying anything.
What's that little Neely Pew thing that you that he has over
It's
the
called
wall?
they're just a knee rest.
Oh, okay.
They're just called pews. It's like, so like when you're in church, they're like,
Yeah.
they're down at the bottom, and sometimes they're just always there. Other times they're like hinged, so you can
Yeah.
bring them down.
Those are sick.
Yeah, but then at church, it's just basically when they're like, all right, stay seated, and then they're like, you may
prayer bench
rise now. Then it's like, now kneel. It's just where you
In
sit.
Catholic churches,
Yeah, in
yeah.
Catholic church. Sorry, yeah,
Okay.
specifically.
I've only ever seen those at caskets at wakes.
Yeah, so if you want to kneel down in front to pray, you know what I mean? I don't know what the actual you're groveling to God, please,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
You already
Almighty
got her.
Creator.
She's already dead. But...
You already killed her. Please don't kill me yet. You know what I mean?
longer,
I know you decided this was the right time
everyone else is
to
saying.
murder
All right,
my
Bill
daughter.
Maher, let's move on. So
Does he have a similar bit?
no, he's just an outspoken atheist who is very disrespectful toward religion.
That's not a cringy.
Just disrespectful
Thing
to
to
everybody.
do.
He sucks.
Even
Yeah.
if that's how you feel.
Bill Maher, and this is us going on a classic play tangent. I like Quentin Tarantino's films for the most part.
Feet.
I think he's a sex creep
Like
for
putting your
sure.
feet in your mouth.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
I don't think he's like a rapey sex creep.
No, I just think he's a
like he's like
pervert.
a skeevy kind of pervy
Yeah,
guy.
he's just kind of a pervert.
Mike Matei.
And maybe there's allegations, I don't know, but I'm not. I'm just saying he doesn't strike me as like a Weinstein sex creep. But just more as like a sleaze lord.
Just like he touched my feet for too long, and it was weird that he was touching my feet to begin with. You know what I mean? Like that's the complaint.
I'm not even sure about that.
No, but yeah.
But I'm saying I can see more like, yeah, he made me do a scene barefoot and like shot my feet for a long time. And he's like, but it's a movie, baby.
It's Hollywood.
I really liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought it was his best film. And he said he's only doing like one more movie and then he's done.
he's
He
got one
wanted to do
more.
like X number of films, which I think is respectable.
That's not
especially
Django.
for
Django's pretty good.
that was pretty good too.
All of his movies are good, I think.
They're all like pretty good in their own ways. Some are better than others. But anyway, I'd never really watched an interview with him, like long form. And he had like an hour-long interview with Bill Maher. Bill Maher has like a new podcast
Oh.
called Club. I think it's called Club Random. I don't know if that's just the sponsor
Hilarious.
of the show or whatever. But it's like them at like a bar, basically, with like seats and stuff. And Bill Maher is just smoking weed. And you guys ever watch Drink Champs?
No.
It's a hip-hop
No.
podcast. Noriega from Capone Noriega and I can't remember who the other host is. Noriega is the main host, I believe.
Okay.
They get all sorts of crazy interviews with like hip-hop legends from from the 70s till today. Just the entire history of hip-hop. And you just like smoke and drink and tell stories and it's like super casual.
Right.
And because it's like someone from that world interviewing
Yes.
other people in that world, you're getting stuff you wouldn't get when like it's like
more
yeah, they
intimate.
might smoke weed and drink on Joe Rogan's show, but like Joe Rogan doesn't know anything about like a lot of shit.
Snoop Dogg. Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
Or like if you ever watched like Getting Dug with High,
Yeah.
that's how it can go poorly.
That show
Yeah.
has no content.
There's no content
Like, I
because they
feel
just
bad.
get too high and then they all just sit there
I
like
don't think smoking weed is cool or fun. So like watching that show has nothing.
so this is like this is more just very casual, like, hey, you can smoke, you can drink, whatever, but like
Yeah.
let's get loose and like tell some stories and talk
Yeah.
about the industry in a very insider way that's very candid and exciting. Bill Maher's show is a similar idea where he's working with Hollywood types and actors and shit, but he just gets so blasted. And at one point he's like on his knees. I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to fuck up my mic, but he's like, like
Because they have material.
They have look.
Speak.
It has the feeling of it does have a feeling of it does have a feeling of the whatchamacallit, the Wally George show. All right,
Oh, shit.
but that's actually insincere because
We're
there
out of-
is a.
We're out of
I don't want
time.
to talk about his show for that much on this show.
Oh, I don't care.
No, but I don't
I'm
want to spend
much
all my
more
time talking about
concerned that we're out of pot. Are you,
it. I think no, we're good.
are you done with this?
No, I'm good with that.
Can we
keep
share
going.
this?
Yeah, we can totally
Okay.
share it.
You're not like paranoid about the fucking virus, are you?
No.
Oh, good.
he's like pouring drinks and it's like he's like clanking the drinks all loud and
But
because
it seems like it's just a room mic. Like they're not seeming like they're
not,
like
they're
this
not
is a
loud,
rinky dink operation. I think it's usually the audio is decent on our shows.
They
I
sound fine,
yeah.
I pride myself on trying to have good audio,
right.
at least acceptable audio.
Yes.
Arguably more important than good video.
And I would say if I were someone like Bill Maher, who's been in the industry as a pretty
He's had,
serious
like-
mainstream voice in the
he had
industry
an
for like
HBO
30, 40
show.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie for me is a really big movie because I was very aware.
Did it just sound like dog shit?
It sounds like shit. There's so much room noise, and it's just like it was so fucking crazy that he just has this like show where he's just like getting so blasted and just like talking and telling and like it's an interview. It's a free form
Yeah.
interview show, conversation show, but he's zooted,
Gone.
and and I watched the Quentin Tarantino episode, and it was just like so cringe. And the whole time he's like,
Is it clear that
Oh,
Quentin
God.
Tarantino's like uncomfortable?
no, he's dealing with it, but you can tell he's kind of like, oh, this is kind of like.
Because he knows tech. You know what I mean? He knows like audio. He knows it probably sounded like shit or whatever. You know what
I
mean? He's
don't think he
aware of
knows in the
production.
moment. I don't know.
okay.
Well, no, yeah.
And could you know, it was common. I mean, shotgun mics were used to do everything for a long time.
Yeah.
Even still, you know, you get a good shotgun mic and it's
Yeah.
incredible.
amazing, yeah.
I don't know how they're making this show. It's crazy. It's just anyway. Bill Maher, a very cringy podcast where he gets zooted to the moon and talks to his celebrity friends, and it is crazy. This man, I think he's got to be like in his like 50s or 60s.
You got to be pushing 60, I'd say, yeah.
10 years ago, he was
very cringy.
white hair, so yeah.
So anyway, really just astounding. I couldn't believe it was a thing.
The thing that's happening in front of you.
Yeah, I was like, this is so fucking weird. And it sucks. So Nathaniel comes home.
With Bill Maher.
Sonny came home.
Son, I had the same thought. When Sonny came home. Oh.
Sonny came home with a list of names. No, so Nathaniel comes home and he's like,
Fucking horrified.
Blake is like, hey, you little bitch, ready for me to fuck your life up again? And you're like, whoa, what are you doing?
He's like, are they talking to you? The demon's talking to you? Trying to get you to kill kids, huh?
He's schizophrenic,
Yeah.
and he's basically like, of course he's the killer. I'm going to harass him. He's like, you killed him, didn't you, you son of a bitch? And he shoves him, and he's kicking him on the ground.
Norman gets to interview him for a second before Blake jumps in, right?
I think depending on your choices.
That's
It
what
seems
happened
like, for me, what happened was pretty much Norman's just like, he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, hi, we're just here to talk to you about it. And he's like, I didn't hurt anybody. I have never hurt anybody.
I think I
and
said,
he's
like, I'm Norman Jane with the FBI. And Blake's like, let me get in here, you fuck.
Yeah, because then he gets right in on him and he's like, why don't you tell him what the voices tell you to do, huh? Why don't you fucking tell him what they tell you to do, you fucking fairy. You fucking...
You killed the kid, didn't you?
And it's another moment where you're like, as Norman, you're like, it's like you click intervene and you're like, hey, Blake, what the fuck are you doing? And Blake like just talks over you and completely ignores that you're saying anything.
I was waiting for the perfect moment to intervene because
I kept trying to intervene because if you go to your thoughts, you're like, I gotta do something.
Yeah, because like I was half expecting him Nathaniel to crack. So
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to prevent that from happening, but also this is
You thought that he might be the killer.
I'm like, let's just see if he cracks because if he's going to, it's going to be soon. Also, like. But this is also definitely illegal and abuse of
Which,
a
like,
mentally ill man.
Is the thought that you can have as Norman too when you go through your thoughts. It can be the one where he's like, well, maybe he is about to get a confession out of him. He's like, but do I want a confession if this is how he gets it? You know what I mean? Like
that fucks with your overall.
Because you not only did you break and enter into this home without a warrant, you know what I mean? Like, which immediately throws away any evidence you find.
Yeah.
You then also like got you get a confession under duress
unlawful
without
confession,
an arrest, without reading them their rights, and you're like suddenly if he
beating him
is
up,
the
he
killer,
kicks him and shit.
if he is the killer, he's not going to go to jail. After you do all that stuff, he will walk away free because you did it that way. You
It's
know what I mean?
possible that the judicial system can.
Oh yeah, you can put
jump
anybody in
through
jail.
a lot of
You can put anybody in jail if
hoops.
you want to. But
Yeah, but even still, like,
this guy's white. You know what I mean?
There was a
middle-aged.
I remember reading into something
God-fearing.
story like this one.
They'd let him go.
And it was right. But it was like everyone was just like, I can't fucking believe you did that. Like this is gonna ruin our entire investigation. And like we're gonna still probably get him, but you really fucked up. You know.
So I eventually was able to be like, I was like, I'm going to reason with him or relate to him and be like, I said, the demon, because he's basically saying like, oh,
because
I
he
believe
hits
that,
the ground and he pulls a gun up and he's
pulls
got
it
the
out
gun
and
on
he
Blake. I was
points
like,
at
that's an
Blake's
important
dome.
point.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I
So
skipped that.
That's
So
okay.
then Norman also, you pull out your gun and aim at him.
So I'm saying like, hey, this demon has agreed to
I'm
leave,
gonna interrupt you right
leave
now
the
because
earth.
pretty much instantly Blake is like, shoot him!
Yeah, he's like, put him in a fucking put a bullet in his head.
I wouldn't. I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm
No,
going to talk
yeah,
it down.
wanna-
same.
shoot
I went
my-
for the same route you did, the psychology.
Whereas
I did
basically
as
just
well.
like saying like, yeah, the demon's going to leave now. And I'm like, get out of here. Go.
Go Blake, if
And
you
so-
leave, it's all done.
I got him to put the gun down eventually. Did
Same.
you guys get him to put the gun down?
Yes, and can I tell?
No.
Did you,
Andrew, what
do it
happened to you?
first.
I didn't know that was an option. I thought this funneled you into one ending.
No,
'Cause
this
I
this
gave
has
him-
multiple endings. Just
Maybe 'cause I didn't-
everything in this game, with some exceptions, can go many different ways.
Oh, I thought this was another thing that.
What did you do?
So I definitely I gave him the psychology twice, not in a row, and that's probably where I fucked up. I told him, yeah, the demons are gonna go away, and then I was like, just put the gun. The same way I handled the robber, the thief in the shop, and I was like, calm down, man, everything's okay. Like, what's going on? And then I went back to like, yeah, the demon's about to leave, and it got funneled to a point where I only had two options, and one was to wait or one was to shoot, and it was clear that he was not standing down, so I blasted him in the head. And I didn't want to do that. I thought that was the only choice. Otherwise, Blake was going to die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that would hurt the investigation as well.
No, you didn't need to do that.
Fuck.
I managed to get him to put the gun down, and then this
I couldn't
horrible.
believe that he didn't.
And then I said, put your hands up. And put your hands against the wall.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to arrest him, or Blake was going to arrest him.
Yes, and then so this was the part that was a horrible mistake for me because the whole time it continues to give you the option to hit right bumper at any point throughout the whole time you're talking to which
Right
would shoot
bumper
him.
being your trigger finger.
You're being your trigger finger. And then for a moment, it stops giving that to you as he puts the gun down. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then like he puts the gun down, and then literally right bumper pops back up again. So I just hit it instinctually.
Oh, no, did you blast
And I
him too?
fucking blasted
Oh.
him. Right? He had put the gun down. I'm like, turn around and put your hands behind your back. And he does that. And then I shot him in the back of the head.
No!
And so I paused and went back to main menu. And I went back to it because I was like, I can't. I didn't mean to. It wasn't my goal. I was like, I was like a real cop. I didn't mean. I thought it was my taser.
Did you hear Blake's response?
No, Blake, I immediately paused. I was like, immediately, I
wonder what he
couldn't.
fucking says.
Well, I
And,
can tell you.
Cool. I mean,
no, keep going.
Norman goes, I can't believe I actually shot him, and then I
Norman
paused.
said
And I was
that
like,
as well.
no.
Yeah.
And I went back, and what happens actually is the reason that it gives you the option is because he reaches back into his coat when he turns around. And Blake's like, oh my, shoot him. You know what I mean? Again, Blake's like, shoot him because he thinks he's going to pull a gun. He turns around and it's just a cross. And he puts it in Blake's face and he's like, the power of Christ compels you. But it's like, it gives you another moment to be like, you could have just shot him. And then he just pulls a cross
And
out of
at
his
the moment
fucking...
he reached into his pocket, I shot him.
You did?
Yeah. I shot him dead, and Norman's like, I can't believe I shot him.
Yeah.
Oh no, I shot a guy.
Right. I killed a man.
Or Deborah. Deborah, I killed Raymond. We can be together.
That's good. And Blake goes, nobody's gonna miss him. And
He was very callous to this day.
He was? That's
he just walks out.
Oh my God.
You leave the body there and just walk out. And Blake's like, that guy was crazy. Fuck him.
Jesus fucking
So I
Christ.
guess this is the first.
Was this like maybe a bonding moment between you and Blake though? You know what I mean? Like maybe it's like this got you
Maybe a
closer.
trauma bond.
Yeah,
I think it was more like, haha, pussy, I made you shoot an innocent man, you old jerk.
It does.
Guess
feel
you're not
like,
so high and mighty now, Mr. FBI.
Right.
I do feel like
Mr.
Blake.
Airwee.
This is probably a great example of like this is the first event that I probably would have if I had known like save scummed is what they call like making a mistake and then reloading.
Yeah.
But I thought that's
I
what you
save
had
scummed.
to do. So
I technically didn't save scummed. I just
No,
exited
not
out.
technically not,
I
but
exited out before the quick save.
it was a miss.
It was a miss. It was a miss. Calm down.
Calm down.
It was. I was like, it popped back up, and my instinct just went QTE. I gotta hit the button.
Yeah, that's
I wasn't
happened to me already
because
a couple times.
I
game
hit it.
plays on that.
But I hit it so early. This was the fastest reaction time I've had. I hit it so early, he hadn't begun reaching into his jacket yet.
my God.
Like, I couldn't read that he was going for something yet. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it wasn't
You
me
just-
reacting to that. I was just like, right
read
bumper.
it. I saw his hand go for his jacket, and I was like, he's got another gun.
This guy's got two guns on
Always
him.
carry
and
two.
Blake-
This crazy man has the money for two weapons.
It was just a crucifix.
And then you just
the
walk
guy
out?
says when you're questioning him, he says he doesn't have a job. He just prays all day,
Yeah.
which is also like, okay, well, how are you staying alive?
Well, you get money.
Welfare.
People just give you money. Or you
could
got
be,
you got disability because you're a
Man,
crazy person.
I hope you don't know about welfare, because you think
You think that's bad?
you know where your tax money's going?
I don't pay taxes.
Yeah, it's paying for people like him to sit around and pray all day.
That's where all of it's going.
That's where all
None
it's
of
going.
it. None of your tax money is being misallocated in
Anything else.
any other way,
No
other
way.
than it's you.
And it's the biggest percentage of taxes
Fuck
go to
other,
welfare.
fuck other poor people.
Not military.
at all.
Not military.
Never that.
Not to subsidies.
No.
Drug war.
Not to just vanity projects.
Nope. It's all to give people money to stay home and pray all day and then get shot by Blake or Jaden.
I fully anticipate that Blake is going to simultaneously like be happy that he was able to use Norman to take care of this guy that he clearly wanted to be dead.
Seems like that was almost why he was like, yeah, we're not leaving this apartment yet.
Yeah.
It seemed like he wanted him to come home so
He
he
wanted there to be an
him.
instigation so he could either get him dead or
Just harass him. He
locked
just
up,
seems
'cause
like he
didn't
just gets
him.
off on harassing him.
But I also
it's like a
believe,
power trip.
I also believe that he's going to use that as a psychological torment against Norman.
Oh,
in some
like
other
as
scenario.
leverage?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I'm glad I didn't shoot him.
I'm fucked. Like anything with
You
Norman
guys both
and Blake
fucked.
later. I
So-
had sex with Blake.
So that's the end of chapter 14, Nathaniel.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 15 is the aptly named Suicide Baby.
And,
Not to be confused with the Suicide Boys.
This is where the game lights up a little bit.
Yeah.
This is really
So,
like,
After that intense scene, things chill out.
So we're in a trailer park, and the
comedic
Hidden
break.
Machine team is split on whether this is a modular home or a trailer. I'm going to go ahead and say the fact that it's pretty fucking wide and also built on a brick foundation. I'm going to say it's a modular home.
and there's additions put onto it. It seems like there are additions at least. There's like seems
Yeah.
like there's a
But Andrew is
going
sure it's a trailer.
I'm going trailer that was retrofit with foundation.
I hear you. I hear where you're
They're in a
coming
trailer
from.
park.
Trailers are usually
Yeah.
a straight shot. This has got little side things coming off it, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
Never
a.
been in a lot of trailers, have you?
My my no, sorry, my,
I've
my
been to a lot of
uncle owns a
trailers.
trailer park.
I've seen a lot of modular homes too, and most of them have the sort of brick or cement foundation, and then the modular home parts put on top of it. Not in a trailer formation, but often in a formation similar to this home, like where there's like a it's not just like a
Straight shot.
rectangle. It's got a little bit of a shape,
There's other
like
squares and rectangles
like an
coming off
odd
it.
Tetris piece.
So let us know in the comments if you also think Andrew is kind of being fucking dumb about this.
I think you guys
and maybe a little
I think
aggressive.
I think the only evidence for it being a trailer is that it's around other trailers.
yes.
But there are other modular home looking places. And what I think is happening, if anything, is that these people have no idea what a trailer park is or what a modular home is,
Yeah.
and just looked at low income housing in a trailer park style area. And they're
just
like, I don't know, like we'll
did their
put this here and this
interpretation of
here, and
Yes.
I think it's just a fucking ambiguous amalgamation
By some
of
fucking-
modular home and trailer
Yeah.
park.
From some out of touch French people who made this game.
I would put money on that.
Low-income American places. Coinciding with that, I mentioned this off camera, but I'm sure this is everywhere, but definitely in the places that I've lived in the United States my entire life, there's a big difference between internal and external doors.
Interior.
Interior and exterior doors, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's very clear. Like,
The internal doors are
those are...
the doors to perception, possibly.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a clear distinction between them. Like an interior door is not going to have like a heavy duty, like that like metal handle. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's just like
It's just sideways. It's a handle. It's not a
like,
knob. It's a
crank it.
handle.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like an interior door will never have that. Like, and that's not the specific example from Heavy Rain, but I see this in a lot of games where there's it's just a door and it's the same as all the other doors. I think it's that same principle shining through, corroborating what Matt said.
Uh-huh.
It's just like they're like, I see. I think I got it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
they
I
look at
think
it,
I said
yeah,
to you in
I
the
think I
chat
got it.
yesterday, it's almost like aliens were observing human behavior. And then there was like a pop quiz. They're like, okay, now how do humans behave? And they're like, okay, yeah, we can do it. And I know it's a foreign thing. I mean alien in a derogatory, like foreign alien way.
Literally
I
like
do.
space
I mean,
aliens.
it's like a non-human species.
Yeah.
Was monitoring humans and then had to, from memory,
retell it.
retell how humans would behave.
However-
Is how most of this game plays.
Yeah.
The high intensity moments are very effective.
They really understood emotion.
It does not mean that the game sucks.
No, because obviously we're
It's
still
just-
having fun with it.
Yeah,
but-
I love it, and it becomes. I think I said yesterday also
You
in the
keep
chat.
saying it gets crazier, and you keep being right.
I said it reaches levels of intensity I could have never imagined.
I'm already like holding my breath on a lot of these segments, but this is a very.
So you walk into the back door because
This
the
one
front
gets-
door you can't get in.
Yeah, front door's locked, baby.
I didn't know that.
I just walked straight to the back door.
I did too.
Did you?
Because that's such a.
I went to the
that's
front
such a
door.
private-
I was like,
And it was so weird because I was like, why am I walking into this woman's back door?
Yeah, this is such a. Private,
you always let someone know
You always know.
if you're gonna make sure it's cool beforehand before
Yeah,
using the
definitely
back
check.
door.
It's very
You say, "Hey,
important.
I'm gonna try to use the back door later."
it's
Is that
super-
okay?
Are you okay?
Say,
Are you
"Yeah,
ready
I'm
for that?
open.
Have you prepared?
I'm open to it.
That is certainly.
I'll shower."
It's like a private eye thing to do. Like scope out the place before checking.
I
you know what
scoped out the place, but still, it seems like the thing would do scope out the place, then go to the front door. I was just like, I'll walk in the back door. So I did, and there's a baby crying. I'm
you-
like, oh, that's weird.
You notice the baby cry. If you go up to the front door, you knock, no answer, and then you look in the window. You like lean over to look in
Oh,
the
I
big
didn't
window,
have that.
and you see the baby crying, and you go, weird.
Yeah,
Knock on the
okay.
door, no answer, baby crying. He goes, something's fishy. You know what I mean? And then you go. Then I went around the back.
There's a guy grilling fish.
If anyone's curious, that is a big train going by.
Oh yeah.
Big train.
Sounds like it's over there. Big
train?
Big train.
So,
Does it sound like it's coming from that way to you guys?
not to me, but
Maybe it's
the
not-
sound bounces off everything all crazy over here.
Yeah.
You find a note on the floor, a suicide note that says, "It's too hard to take care of my baby." But before you find that, you go in and he says something like, "Oh, the baby's all alone. Oh, parents these days leaving a baby by itself."
Does he?
I know.
Yeah.
If you go into your thoughts, he
see
can.
that.
Also, this is because I replayed the Laura Winter chapter. But he also says, nice place. I've seen whores that don't really care about their living quarters.
Yeah, he says that in the thought with Lower Winter. Yeah, where he's like, I've seen horrors that live in way worse places than this, basically.
Wow, I'm glad,
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't
I was
hear
like-
him say those things. He's my favorite character.
He's
so
like
far.
he's like a really good he's like, yeah, I'm a wholesome guy. I try to do the right thing. But man, those whores and the Jews and the blacks, it's like, whoa, what?
You're like, this Zionist movement.
He seems like he's a guy who's like, yeah, I got great morals and values, but also underneath that, he's extremely he's not showing any racial or cultural
no.
prejudice. But the way
He
he's talking about
feels
like
like that kinda
whores
guy.
and stuff and like parents these days,
It's kind of like signaling.
there's like an underlying prejudice where in real life when you meet those sorts of people, there's lots of like people who seem very upstanding and moral, and then it's like
The second there's like a
there's
different-
insane bigotry underneath the
Yeah.
surface.
It's like, yes. Okay. I was like, we could go on a rant about entitlement.
However, though, Scott Shelby to me so far has been like his voice actor is the best, sounds the most natural, regardless of accent or anything. He sounds and he just seems like he is trying to be a good dude.
He's trying to do it. So you go into the bathroom.
Poof.
You can
gotta
search the
know.
apartment.
He goes into like a panic mode when he finds a note, and he's like, I gotta look, I gotta see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have
In the
to
bathtub,
bust-
He goes, gotta go fast.
Yeah, you gotta bust into the bathroom too. It's
you
locked.
bust in. You find a woman with her wrist slit. She's in a bathtub full of bloody
This kid's
water.
crying, and this bitch is taking a blood bath.
You wake up, your baby won't shut the
You're
fuck up.
taking a bath right now, and your kid's out there crying.
All right, lady bathory.
What are you sleeping too?
But you do.
Bathing in the
And then
blood
he-
of
You
virgins.
like check her pulse.
And then he says, "Oh no."
So
I've misread this situation.
this was fucking crazy to me. You pull the woman out of the tub. She's cut her wrists.
Her wrists are fucked.
Wrong way.
Not
That's really common though. People
She
don't
did
know
it across the street, not up the road.
Off the road.
So so it was more of a cry for help,
Then it wasn't.
presumably.
Then a
But she only cut one of her
successful
wrists.
attempt.
So
too.
because one of her wrists, and she's just like waiting, hoping she'll bleed out in the tub. It seems like because she's not there
She
yet.
did- she seems like she fainted
Yeah,
or
maybe.
is in and out of consciousness,
Yeah.
but isn't out entirely because she's
Yeah.
she's responsive to a
Yeah.
degree, but she's dopey. But
You
anyway,
walk in and you're like, I should see if she's still alive, and you just slap her as hard as you can in the face, and she's like,
Yeah.
but she doesn't like wake up. You're like, she's still kicking.
You bring life back
so
into her.
you pull her out, you put her in the bed, and you're like, I gotta find something for the wounds. Or you ask her, do you have anything for these wounds? She goes, yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh yeah, because you're like, I'm gonna call the police, and she's like, don't fucking do that. Don't do
She's
that.
like,
Yeah.
she's like, did you see my ACAB socks? and
He's
so
like, "Oh,
You see the sign that says we don't
like,
call
"Oh,
the
sorry."
police
He's
around
like,
here at our
"You're
front
wearing
door.
kind of wearing like a
she's wearing a nighty.
You're just wearing a nighty,
okay.
like a
I didn't
camisole.
get that. That was what I was like, that's kind of weird. Not sexy dress, but like not your average wear. What the fuck was that?
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't clang my metal over there. I'm not even sure that picked up on the mics. So
Can you add a ridiculous?
yeah, I'll amplify it and reverb
I
it.
just wanted, you guys get these armrests. I'm just trying to.
So yeah, he yanks her out, and then like she's like, I have some like medicine,
Maybe.
thing or whatever.
There's probably some cause.
Yeah, and then he's like, I know just what to get.
And he goes, I love this where he goes, I need this and this and this and this.
It's so funny.
I got it.
Oh,
when you're
sorry.
when you're bandaging her wrist, her wrist is like this thick. It's like
Thin wrist.
it's like whoa, what?
He is also massive, and she's
He is
very
massive.
frail.
He's a big guy. She's proud.
I forgot to mention
Gigantism.
I forgot to mention in Nathaniel's apartment, he has tons of pill bottles, and you can look at all of them.
Right.
And that would signal to a regular audience, like, oh, he has tons of pills. He's like maybe doing pills. They're supplements.
They're all multivitamins.
Yeah, they're all
supplements.
multivitamins and
vitamins.
supplements.
They're
I think they were trying to communicate like this guy's unwell. He's on a bunch of
thought that
meds, and it's
too.
like I was like, wait a minute, these are all.
If you read any of the
none
generic
of them
things,
are prescription.
yeah,
They're
they all say like
Just
multivitamin.
supplements. Like he's probably
Which also,
very
I've known
healthy.
plenty of people who are fucking insane. They take like 1 million supplements. So,
Not gonna.
but also it was funny because well, you work in a natural food store that sells
do.
plenty of supplements.
Very-
Very people, but
And they help.
hey, I like.
They
my
all
supplements.
work.
I'd take a good amount.
Go to the co-op.
But,
Go to your co-op.
Go to your
You're
co-op.
probably not.
Please
here.
please don't
come
go to
here.
our co-op. But also, it was one of those situations where it's like, oh man, they keep repeating the same
I did see
models.
that,
Where it's
yeah.
like
Bottom
Yeah.
model.
the bundle of like 10 bottles, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, back to our bride here.
You bandage up her wrists. I don't remember her name.
Her last name is Knowles, like Beyonce, but her first name is not Beyonce. I can't remember what her first name is.
I don't remember.
Take a guess. I'm looking it up.
Terry Knowles.
It's like a more classic girl name. It's like. Do you have it? Mm-hmm. It's like
Bethany.
I'm gonna say Bernice.
Susan.
Susan.
I was close.
Susan Bowles. Her son Jeremy Bowles was a recent victim of the
it
origami
Bowles?
killer.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Knowles.
Like sick. Like. I'm
Also, the Heavy Rain wiki says it is a trailer park home. It doesn't say it's a trailer.
That's like it's the city. Not
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Commit to
It's them
something.
just being like, we've never been to America.
Commit to something. Quantum Break.
Quantic Dream.
Even Remedy like sent a team to New York City to
did.
investigate.
Just to be like, oh, this is with the Big Apple.
The Big Apple.
Big Apple. 3
Yeah, it's more like the Big Apple.
So
Whoa,
that wasn't Dutch at all.
Turtles in Time?
yes.
Oh my god, that you sent me back to the past to play the good games from the past.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you back to the past. Just play the good games from the past. Man, did you actually watch that GameSack parody episode I sent you?
No, I meant to. I forgot to.
Oh
though.
man, the
Is it hilarious?
AVGN, it's so fucking, it's way funnier than I thought.
Yeah? Did they really nail him?
They nailed it so well. Anyway, if you guys haven't seen it and you like this kind of bullshit, you're obviously a total loser like us. Look up GameSack's Let's Make a YouTube Video Game Show episode. It's a incredible parody of some of your favorite Y-tubers. Anyways, you bandage your wounds. He speaks to her in a very odd tone. He's like, you okay? You all right now?
Yeah,
Hey, you
very
all good?
much. Like you
And it's
just like
yeah, she killed herself.
it's like you just brought like your drunk friend home and they threw up and you're like, you good to go, man? Can I now also go home? You know what I mean? Like,
I
are you
kind
gonna
of
stop
also took it as like, so that's something that I do. If somebody is really distraught, I'll like respond to them as if things are not as severe. So you could take it as
Well,
that.
yeah,
it
but
was
it's like-
See, I
still
try to
a
do that,
little casual.
but it's more for me. It's like more of a gaslighting kind of thing because I want to try to make it seem like, what? No, nothing's wrong. Why are you being weird?
Yeah, try to make
Why are you overreacting? It's such a
Yeah,
normal
you're
situation.
grossly
Like, was this just
overreacting
normal?
to something
Was
that
I-
I've done this to a bunch of people and no one's ever gotten this angry. So I don't know why you're. This is clearly an issue with you.
So-
and I'm not.
Nice thing, cool, good thing.
The baby starts crying. She's like, my baby needs me. And you're like, whoa, bitch. No.
Take a chill pill, lady.
if you stand
You gotta
up, you're
cool
gonna
this one off.
Pass out. You have no blood left.
You have no blood in your
You have
body.
just enough blood right
Scott
now.
Shelby's like, you see this? And he pulls out, and it's a coffee mug that says world's best dad. He's like, I know how to take care of a baby. Clearly.
He walks out and he's like, I don't even have any fucking kids. I got that at the gas station. Hassan gave that to me when I was leaving.
So you go to the baby. The baby's
Some
crying.
broad I was seeing had an abortion, and she thought it'd be funny to give me as a gag gift.
Ooh.
Wow.
You go
Wow.
to the baby.
Wow. We could
Make it
have
extra dark.
not done that one. You were like, I have to get this joke in.
You
Absolutely.
sniff the baby. The baby shitted.
Smells like shit and piss.
He picks it up with his finger.
All right, I want to blaze through this.
Sorry.
Basically, the baby shitted. You
You
change
cha-
the baby.
yeah.
Baby's still crying. You heat up a bottle. Give it to the baby.
Did you guys not heat up the bottle? Because you can go ask Susan.
Oh no,
You can use your intuition, or you can be like, I can't figure out what the fuck this baby wants. Go ask Susan.
Really?
Yeah.
I looked at the bottle. I went to the
No, I did the
kitchen.
same. If you go through your thoughts, you can either the two thought
Did you
options
go ask
are.
Susan?
I didn't, but you can
Vega?
go. Yeah,
might
you
have.
can go ask her.
Might have asked her. I don't remember.
I didn't. I left her alone.
I was like, I'm not gonna bug her
like,
again.
She's almost dead.
I also tried
I'm
to
gonna
take-
leave her for
They
in
showed
recovery for a
right
moment.
next to the bed is like fucking like three
bottle?
sets of scissors.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was like, can I take those scissors? You can't. You
She
can't
also
take
had
the
some
scissors away from me.
Empty Canaruskis there.
Yeah, there's a
too.
bunch of the.
Yeah, there was like a shot where it's like beer.
Yeah.
But it was only like 7, and I'm like, I drink like 7 beers and I'm not drunk.
Yeah, but she was like 100 pounds.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like.
like I said, her wrists were like the
Yeah,
width
that's true.
of two
But I mean,
of my
like,
fingers.
so what? That's like, yeah, I guess. All right. I was like,
Yeah.
I have 7 beers. I'm doing fine.
That's not even. That's impressive for a man of our stature.
Well, it depends on what they are. Those looked like she was drinking like Stella Artois.
yeah, like she's. Like that's like 4.5%.
like
You know what I mean?
4%ers,
Maybe
yeah.
like.
But so the thing I noticed when I was feeding the baby the bottle,
What were you doing to the baby?
I was feeding the baby. He left the dirty diaper out on the changing table.
Yeah, he just puts it on the fucking table.
It's
yeah.
just sitting there, and it's
Stewing.
curled open.
It's
still.
open, so like the shit's just wafting.
Wafting around.
It's like
You gotta air it out.
you throw out that's what you do. The diaper has tape on it. You bundle it. You
Yeah,
can
you-
tape it back shut.
Yeah, that's why it's built that way.
You throw it in the spot.
It's not a cloth diaper.
No.
It's a disposable. Mm-hmm. He leaves a shitty open diaper on the
And
changing
she
table.
clearly has like a changing table. You know what I mean? It's not like it's
Maybe
just a
I'm
card
misreading
table.
this scene, but
I didn't
I
see-
noticed that. And it was
I
like,
noticed it too. He left it right there.
Yeah.
I didn't see a diaper receptacle though. Sometimes they have that little.
There it seemed like
Look
there was
down.
drawers underneath the table. Like he could. He didn't. He took the diaper off. He took the diaper and went. Put the diaper back on. Fucking was like, I'm done here.
Well, you already saved your mom's life.
I love when he changed her. He goes, fresh new baby.
yeah.
Yeah, he's Batman.
Like what?
Like, so,
I've never said that.
I thought-
I've held a fresh new baby and I didn't go, wow, fresh new baby.
and like I don't know. Like, I don't know if it was like that. I had like I was drinking, but like you have to like rock the baby back to sleep, and you're like feeding her and shit. And it's playing this nice music.
Yes, it's very reminiscent of Death Stranding.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
I do a lot of rocking the baby in that game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just.
Especially when you trip and fall with the fucking.
It's like,
Yes. I've
thought
fallen
it
down a
was-
fucking mountain and I had to be like, shit.
I'm you're okay. Your head's not.
You're a fetus, but you'll make it.
I feel hesitant to share my feelings on this topic, but I thought it got kind of sentimental. I thought it was kind of nice because I was like, that baby's fucked.
It reminds
probably.
me of when I walked into a woman's home who had recently tried to commit suicide and I cared for her baby for 8 minutes.
a couple moments.
Well, I mean, he does make a few comments that was like, he sets her back down. And he's like, "You gonna take care of your mama, there, Emily?"
Yeah, and
because her
like,
name's
I was
Emily.
just
You
like-
gonna
He
take
also
care of
said
your
something
mama.
like, poor Emily.
"Yeah, she have a
It's
rough
not going to
go."
be easy for her.
No, that's what I was thinking. I was like, this baby is not gonna have a good life.
So you do eventually talk to Susan again. She's like,
You're doing your
so
classic
where's-
leaning on the walls again. So tell
Yeah,
me, Susan.
I
I
tell me,
sat next to
tell me
her.
about your dead son, Susan.
I did everyone.
I
was on
always
the wall,
try
I
to.
sat next to
I
her.
just sat next to her on the bed because I thought this was.
And I kept switching between them two. I'd sit on the couch for a second, and she'd be like,
Jeremy left me.
Jeremy, and I'd be like, all right.
What I like to do is like when I'm leaning on something,
why
I
did
just
you
like
Jason
do like a
left
little push-up motion.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Go back and
I do
forth.
that too sometimes.
It's fun.
So you said
You're like,
Jared-
wow, I'm so strong, but really
Why
it's
did
just
Jared leave you?
not.
But Jeremy's father disappeared.
Emily's father, Jeremy.
No, Jeremy's the kid.
Oh, Jeremy, yeah.
Emily's also
You're
the
right.
child.
Emily's father,
sorry,
yes, but also
Emily's
Jeremy's father. Jeremy's the son who was murdered by the origami killer.
That might not be Emily's father as well.
I think it is.
It implied that it was,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
from what I
Yeah,
remember.
he even said, like, where's Emily's,
So he left
father.
the moment that.
But
Who
basically,
the fuck's Jeremy?
Jeremy's the kid that's dead.
The kid that
the
died,
dead
the
kid.
victim of the origami killer.
Okay,
I
but
just
then
said
also-
Which is her son.
But also, didn't they say that? Am I mixing this up? Did they also say that Jeremy's
They never named her
grandfather lived
husband.
there?
No.
Grandfather?
Yeah, I thought at some point they said that he lived with her as well.
No, what happened was they're a happy family.
She says, you have
Jeremy,
any family?
Emily, Susan, and the unnamed father. Jeremy goes missing.
Can you make up a
Same
name
day,
can you make up a name for the father?
Ted. Ted goes missing the same day that Jeremy goes missing. And he's like, did he leave anything behind? Do you know why he left?
He went missing the next day.
You have no idea why.
Yeah, it was the next day, and I imagine it's because he found the shoebox and
'Cause
then
he went
did
to
not
the
have the
trial.
courage
That was
to save
That was
his
the
child.
First moment that I was like, oh, I know.
But
what
no,
happened.
I think what you're thinking of is he goes, "Do you have any family?" And she says, "Just my mother, but I don't talk to her." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
maybe I'm just-
she
it's all
doesn't. Yeah,
jumbled.
there's no
Right.
grandfather.
She's
Like, really-
she's alone.
Yeah.
She's
But
really
she says
hesitant.
that she found a cell phone that he left there. And she's like, you can take it. It's probably of more use to you.
Yeah.
And
I can't
she's
even get
like,
it to
it's
turn
in a
on.
drawer in the living room. And he's like,
Okay,
cell
why?
phone in the drawer in the living room.
Yeah, you get back in there and like
That's
you
what Susan said.
can you can click it again. Yeah,
he
he's
said-
like drawer in the living room. That's what Susan told me. Drawer living room.
That's what Susan said.
In a drawer in the living room. That's what Susan said. In a drawer in the living room. That's what Susan said.
It's in the cupboard.
That's what Susan
living
said. You find it, and don't it look similar to the one Ethan got? And he looks at it, he goes,
Tries to turn it on.
Yeah,
Won't.
and then he just leaves.
he leaves. And that's the end of chapter 15, which brings us to chapter 16. Mm-hmm. The Bear.
Which is a fucking high octane, depending on the
going on.
decisions you make.
A lot
Now-
going on here.
Ethan goes to a garage. He's the address was a garage, and he's got like a receipt.
Like a ticket to pick up a car.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Ethan goes to the garage. There's a guy working on a car underneath the car.
and he can't hear you.
You go, excuse me, driver.
And he goes,
And he goes like this. He goes.
yeah. I thought he was
Did that happen for you guys too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I thought
rolls
was
up from
flying.
underneath. Like,
His eyes
eyeballs-
are completely in the back of his
he
head.
goes, "Oh, I didn't even see you there," and I thought he was.
thought he was
I thought he was cracking like a bad joke, like I didn't see you there or anything else.
Because I'm blind.
You know.
I thought his
You can
eyes
see
were
his
super
his
fucked.
his pupils are all the way up to
They're
the
like
top of his
looking
head. They're like
at the
fighting
roof.
to come into the.
Yeah, they're
They're
barely
in the same universe we're in. They're in a different reality.
And he's like, "Oh man, you're a patient guy. This car's been here for 2 years. We took it for a drive every month." And you're like,
replaced it,
"Yep."
just like you said.
You better believe it.
Ethan's like, oh, yeah.
So you go, and he's like, "It's down the service elevator," and it's
A
like,
normal thing to have in a garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially in that kind of garage. Well, because it's not like a
how do you get the cars down?
It's not specifically a
look big
parking
enough for it.
garage.
It didn't look
It's
big
like
enough
a,
for it.
it's like a, it says general services on the outside. So it's like they also work on the cars and store cars there.
Okay.
So you need to be able to bring like an engine block on a dolly with, you know what I mean, like a couple fucking
I don't think you put the
jacks.
cars on
You know
there
what I mean? Yeah.
because he didn't drive the. I think there's probably
A separate entrance.
there's probably ramps into the garage, but you wouldn't.
That's the garage.
You drive the cars into there, but you wouldn't.
Garage?
You wouldn't walk in. It's the same as every time into like a parking garage facility. You can walk in. You usually take an elevator, but you drive
Yeah.
your cars up ramps.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking it is.
Yes,
okay, I see what
agreed.
you mean.
That's what I assumed as
He
well.
does call it garage.
That's a very British way of saying it.
Yeah. He's like, the third floor of the garage. I was
We
like,
have to go grab our car from the garage after we get done at the theater.
yeah. And I was like, are you fucking?
We are a garage band. It's another Clash song.
There you go.
Okay.
We come from garage land.
The Clash. Great band. Never did anything bad ever.
So.
London car.
Your last album is bad. It's arguably not actually the Clash though.
I got stuck behind a tool chest. I don't know about you guys, but I had to turn
I got
around.
stuck behind a Tool fan who was
God.
like
They're like, you don't
you
understand,
guys-
man.
they're like,
it's about the
numbers.
Fibonacci.
freedom of
I don't know
choice.
if you've heard about this crazy concept, the Fibonacci sequence.
You guys ever done
spiral?
DMT?
You're not smart enough to understand.
Have you
tool,
ever heard
man.
of alternate tunings?
So there's this crazy one where you can go like.
You know you can change time signatures in a song?
It's like D or something.
Basically,
I fucking hate Tool and their fans.
Anyways,
Check it out. Same riff for 2 hours.
I don't know enough about Tool. I've only ever heard the singles. One
They're
day
fine.
I do intend to listen to their discography. As I have with every band, I go, I think I fucking hate that. I go, let me actually listen to like 3 of their albums from
And
the
then
start.
decide I hate it.
And go, do I actually hate it or do I just not understand it? And I've been surprised by the results. Sometimes I go, damn, actually, Smash Mouth had some shit.
Also, sometimes there are bands where you love the. I've had bands where I'm like, oh, I really love those 2 singles I've heard. I should check out more of them. And then those are the only 2 songs that I can connect to in any way.
shit.
That,
I remember when I was in high school, I bought Jimmy Eat World's Bleed American album,
Ooh.
and I was like, "Wow, I really liked the middle and the rest of the record." I was like, "I do not like this like post emo whatever this stuff is."
it wasn't great. Same with the All American Rejects. I got like their.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's not
Anyway, so
not for me.
you go down.
Was when I was 12.
I love when you go. boop, boop, boop. You get to
You can find
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
yeah.
and the car beeps.
Beep, beep.
It's just a great little scene. Mm-hmm. And you're walking down.
It's pretty good.
Because it's like, well, it's because you're in this like dingy parking garage. You have no idea what's going on. And you're like, is this safe? Like,
Yeah.
am I doing it? And it's all the way at the back of the garage. You go there. It's actually like a pretty nice modern car.
It looked
for
like
the
a
time.
it looked like a Ford Taurus.
Yeah, it was all right.
You get in, you look around, you don't find anything, and then on your side, in the passenger, or on the not passenger, what is it called? Like
The driver's door.
No, but the I don't know what the thing is called.
I don't know what it's called. It's
There's
like
a little
little
compartment on the
Just a
door.
little compartment under your door. Your like driver's side door compartment.
I think there you pull out a GPS. You turn the GPS, and it's like go to your destination.
Did you also try to open up the?
Glove box.
Yeah, you can't open the glove box,
No,
and you can
I
check
found-
the other door
I found
compartment.
the GPS
Nothing in there.
first, and I didn't get the option to look at the glove box, which would have been important for later, but
You can't open it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
right.
No.
But it could have helped me.
And then I like that every time too. You're like, here's the QTE for turning it on. And then here's the QTE for
putting
taking
it
the parking
in
brake
gear.
out. Here's the QTE for putting it in drive, and QTE for stepping on the gas.
It seems excessive, but it does also build tension.
It does. I like it.
Oh, I like it
And
too.
it takes like a second maybe.
Yeah.
So you speed away.
You drive to a highway, and they're like, "You're at your destination." You're like, "What?" And they're like, "Now, are you ready to show courage and save your son?" You're like, "Oh
yes!"
no!" And the GPS is talking to you.
The GPS is just a audio EQ, like equalizer or visualizer.
Yeah, there's no like map on there. They're just
Yeah.
like turn left at this intersection.
Yeah.
That'd be so much harder than having no visual element to a GPS.
Right,
Jeez.
And then
Scary.
like you need to for 5 miles, you need to drive against traffic on the highway.
on the highway. In
For 5 miles,
rainy,
and if it takes you more than 5 minutes,
you lose.
you lose. It's over.
But if you
fucked
make it, you get a clue as to where your son is.
And it's rainy and foggy. And
Yep.
it's like dark.
Yep.
It's very frightening.
And this is fucking intense.
And
Yeah.
you kind of gives you. Can you choose to not do it?
I didn't, but
I'm curious because it seems like
I think
you
you
can.
have to do it eventually.
Okay.
But,
I right away
you know,
I was like, "Nut
psyched
up or
myself
shut up."
I was
Yeah.
like, Ethan's alive. I have to do everything for him. I have to do it. And he was scared. He was like hesitant. I had to like
Yeah.
talk myself to it like twice.
I had to be like, I am a brave little boy. I'm a brave little toaster. You're like, I'm the strong man.
I can't
The
lose
brave
another,
little
I can't
toaster
lose
is a
another son.
companion in Wasteland 3.
Yeah.
They call him courageous, but it's
What? Oh, he's in it?
Courageous little
Yeah.
toaster.
Oh.
that's a you don't even need to spec. You can get like a 7.
I only got to the
in
5.
Oh. Well,
You suck.
Yeah, I really blew it.
Anyways.
It was your character.
Yeah, and I'm fucking beefy boy. But
he shoots fireballs.
it's fucking intense. This next sequence.
Yeah. Wow.
I feel
My
like I
blood was
murdered
boiling.
2 cops.
There's
Yep.
no way there weren't serious casualties.
Yeah, you 100% like the second one might not have died.
Well,
You
Matt,
like,
I was-
but you like bump a truck that has a cement mixer in the back. Not
Yeah,
like
and
a
it's
cement
like-
mixer truck.
Yeah.
But like a freestanding cement mixer is on the bed of a truck and it flies off and smashes into a cop.
Yeah. And then another one, it's like you barely manage to like thread the needle against like the guardrail and the truck, and then the cop car does not,
Yeah.
and fucking gets smushed against the side, and it's fucking.
Well, Jordan, I was watching you play it, and I remember you were nailing all the QTEs, but then when you saw the police officer trying to like hail you, you just like your hand slipped or something.
I suddenly I dropped the controller.
And you said, "Oh no."
No, there was actually one of the only 2 QTs I missed was when I was coming at like the road worker, and you don't hit him. I thought I was gonna run him over.
I missed that one.
Shut
too.
up.
We're out of time.
We ran out of time.
Oh, cock.
Ethan goes on a really, what's the word I want to use for this? Fucking crazy. It's just like, you think like driving the wrong
pounding.
way on the, pussy pounding. You think driving the wrong way on the highway is gonna be intense.
I
Yeah.
think that's bad.
But like, the cops. So he goes on what looks like a toll booth crossing.
Yeah, he
but
goes
also
straight
looks like
through.
a border crossing because there's cops there.
Yeah.
No, there's occasionally there's cops at toll booth. If you pay attention when you go through stations a lot of the time, there's like clearly the area where like the workers show up to clock in and stuff, you know what I mean, and leave their shit and then walk over to the toll booths. There's usually a couple cops posted up over there, more often than not, because it's a high traffic area, you know what I mean.
Sure.
It just makes sense. They're usually near a sheriff's office or like, you know what I mean? Like
Well, he
fucking.
drives past the cops, as we mentioned. The cops may have been murdered, but also there is the line, which I think you mentioned where Jordan drove right through it because he hates cops. Like
Fuck 'em.
they set up like a blockade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which seemed like they got on that real fast.
Very, very quickly. It's very hard to mobilize something like that, determine like the direction
5
someone
minutes.
is going, and also because you have to you usually have to set up multiple. Because you're
Right.
like, he could then take this exit and end up over here. We have to block off but they're just like, we fucking nailed it.
But Ethan loves his boy. He's ready to show courage to save his son.
He
Just
is.
throw something at my window. Did you hear
It sounded
that?
like somebody
I heard
fell
it,
down the
yeah.
stairs outside of your apartment.
Bizarrely, when this chase is over, when it comes to its conclusion, the police don't catch up to you. I don't know what the hell it is.
Well, let's talk about the conclusion. 'Cause for me,
Okay.
I'm sure it may have been the same for you.
Nope.
I drove off the fucking highway and crashed the car.
You roll.
I rolled over and walked away. Or whatever.
Crashed that piece of shit and then stepped.
Stepped away. I was like, it's not walked is the wrong.
And walked away.
Stepped away.
Stepped away sounds so much better. But who steps away? You walk away.
You walk away, yeah. Unless
Step
you're-
away from the wreck. That's stepping away from it.
You just take a step back.
He didn't just take that guy. He
left.
took a step and he took many
He
more
kept on
steps.
stepping.
Taking
He,
steps.
he got to step in.
was-
Call him
Okay.
stepping. He was a stepping wolf.
Hey, magic carpet ride.
That's it. Please don't stay on the grass, boy.
Oh, Jesus.
That's another Stephen
I forgot
Wolf.
that it was a
Man.
band. I was thinking of the like the Norse mythology creature and the Marvel.
Is there a cannon being blasted outside?
It's probably a large truck being unloaded or something.
My people are here.
Steppenwolf has some of the most badass cover art.
Steppenwolf?
records.
Oh, fuck yeah, they do.
Sometimes I see Steppenwolf records in at thrift stores. I'm like, what? Oh, well, I've owned most of the Steppenwolf records. It's very okay 60s rock.
They're a very underwhelming band.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
their cover art really
fucking rips, dude.
outdoes their music.
Like the I don't know. Like I always felt like Supertramp had like
Oh yeah,
really cool, but it also I like the cover art, but then also that was actually good music too. Like with Steppenwolf, you can't just fucking listen to the album front to back. You can, but you're not really gonna like it.
it's very super okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No,
It's
you're
just
like
completely unremarkable 60s rock.
yeah.
For the most part. But man, yeah, they got like the Man is the Bastard style skulls and shit and like psychedelic fucking, I don't know. It's just badass. Anyway. The GPS is like, you did it, Ethan. Good job, buddy. The key to the glove box is in the GPS.
The key to the glove box is in the GPS. The key to the glove box. He just kept saying it.
You have to break open the GPS
I know it's like
as you're in a burning car upside down.
Upside down,
yeah. I love that it's like Zoolander when they're like it's in the computer.
the file's in the computer.
I've never seen that.
You've
I've
never
been meaning
seen
to watch
Zoolander?
that for like 20 years. Everyone tells me it's like, it's actually really funny.
I
It's
think
kind of the whole joke of the movie is it's gay.
No, I
they're just dumb.
Yeah.
That's definitely a huge part
and
of
that
it.
they're dumb. You know what I
And
mean?
that
That the
they're
male
dumb.
models are dumb and vapid,
So
and it's like you
hasn't
know what I mean.
aged amazingly, but it's. I think.
I
It's
think
still
it's
funny.
as your first watch, you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't think that I think like if you see it as a young, because I saw it when I was probably 8, and so it was fucking. You know what I mean? Like
Lo-
I'll say it like, I think it was last year, even my girlfriend, watched Deuce Bigelow
yeah,
for the first time. I never saw it as a kid.
yeah.
That's a huge bitch.
That's a huge bitch is a great line. That is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard.
I think about it like weekly. It's
great.
But that whole movie is really fucking funny to me.
Yeah, it is.
I think that was a great dumbass comedy.
Yeah, but the problem is though that like people's
imagine you watching that movie.
like minds get to we're getting
Billy
horribly
Madison's my favorite
off
movie.
track again. But like
What is?
people get
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison's a great movie. The Fist in Your Pants is cool on Miles Davis. But if you like Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo, not funny. Not a good movie.
I started to watch that and it was not good.
No.
I was like, oh man, they really.
And I think that really taints, especially with like Rob Schneider, because he also had a bunch of
He's
shitters.
memed himself into Shit Kingdom.
Yeah.
His daughter is Elle King, who's the singer a lot of people know.
L. King.
E-L-L-E.
I don't know who that is.
No, me either.
Well, she's had some hits.
Okay. I don't listen to
I think
radio.
it's an interesting. She's more of an indie artist. You know, she seems like someone you would like because you like all that lame shit.
Yeah. I think we listen to like the same music.
Listen to a lot of the same stuff. Which would make me think you'd know who she was. I don't really like her shit. I actually know her because she was on a couple Plattsburgh Home Team songs, but she also like later.
Wait. Like you sampled her?
No, like she worked with some of the guys from the Home Team like years ago.
Oh, okay. Like Mitchell?
And then no,
his name? No.
Edward.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's the only one I know. It's Mitchell Graham.
His name's Peso.
He used to get wings from me. And he put in the order as
Plattsburgh, he's Mitch. He's not the great Peso in Plattsburgh. He's like that's in New York. Mm-hmm. It's different. Anyway.
Yeah, he's fucking smashing it.
You're breaking open. Well, it's more like this. Because even though you're upside down, up is still up, and it's like even though it's pointing down, it's like because the camera's reversed. I thought that was really clever.
I thought that was cool too. I did like that the QTEs like went with your perspective.
Even though I knew what was going on, I was like, oh fuck, I did it wrong.
Yeah,
I'm like panicking because like
that
the car's
weird
on
disconnect.
Fire.
Yeah,
Even though it hasn't really happened yet, and maybe it would if you waited too long, I still feel like you have to press the buttons as fast as possible. Even though in a lot of the sequences it doesn't seem like you have to. Maybe in that one, because the car does blow up after.
Because in this game, you'll flirt with death, but like when you die, you're gonna die, and it's not gonna be the kind of thing where it's like, well, we're in the first like fifth of the story. Time to kill a main character. They're not gonna do that. You know what I mean,
that's good.
But doesn't mean that you should let your guard down.
You have plot protection for a little while.
For some time. Oh man, oh god, it's like the more I play, I'm like, oh no, I'm like remembering stuff I forgot because it was just I was in such a, like I mentioned before in the first episode, I played this game all in one day during COVID. During me having COVID.
Yeah.
Very sick, very very out of it, and just being like, what? Oh no, what?
And just barely following.
Yeah.
This car sequence reminds me of that one Mr. Hyde vlog that we watched that I think you showed me where he's these good goddamn American vehicles. Do you remember that? Where he's punching the roof of the car? It was very funny. That was a very standout moment.
So you break open the GPS. There's the key. Open the glove box. There's another video of your son on a little memory card there. You got the GPS. You get your clue for the Hangman style name of the street where he's being held. And you step away.
Yeah. What was weird is that,
step away, na 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 na.
We already made
na na na. You know I crashed that piece of shit.
Hold on, I remember the verse lyrics.
Bartender. So it was bizarre that the police officers were able to set up multiple barricades during this 5-minute stretch because they specify it's 5 minutes. But then I feel like I crashed and spent a long time like trying to get out of the car, and the cops had not caught up to me at all.
They don't catch up at all. You kind of walk away, and then you're hanging out, and
it may be because you're on like a highway, and your car falls off the highway.
Yep.
Like you're like they're not gonna fucking.
You just killed 2 cops.
After you, they're gonna have to like go off and exit and drive around and. Like, maybe they could see you.
It'd be great if it was just like in Blues Brothers, when suddenly like all of the cop cars just come flying off the overpass with the sirens wailing, like, landing onto your car.
Did you guys go over the jump with the car?
Yeah, I did. I went over the one jump.
It wasn't big, but it was just like
it's when you're like leaving the roadwork area section of it, you can go like left or right. You know what I mean? You can always choose one of 2 paths in a lot of the.
I kept going like left and right on both sides. I was like, oh wait, no, that's not what it means.
But there's one choice you can make where you hit like a little ramp, and Ethan kind of he's like, oh.
Cars fucking feel awful when you go over jumps. Or like little like I never went off a jump before, but
when you hit like a speed bump or
we have a lot of back roads in this area, and like growing up there was like a lot of
bad roads in this area.
Bad roads. There's a lot of times that like, or specifically like roads that like you could speed on and not get in trouble, like in the more like rural areas.
But then like you hear about 2 kids that are 2 years ahead of you that got decapitated.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. But it was kind of like a hobby. A lot of people, a lot of kids, especially when you first get your license and you're driving around, it's like it's like kind of a thing to like go really fast when like the road dips down. So you kind of have like this crazy. It feels like you're.
It feels like you're on a roller coaster
for a second. Yeah, and I remember like that's a crazy feeling. So I can't imagine. going
I
off.
almost,
like a
I almost
jump like
rolled
that.
a car with Andrew and a friend of ours in it one time.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the Subaru and I fucking turned real fast and we fucking went up on two wheels. I was trying to be funny.
I don't remember that. Holy shit.
You guys yelled at me.
Yeah, probably.
This is the only really reckless thing I've
I
done.
would
in a
either
car.
yell at you or go, ah.
We didn't roll, so
I think
we die?
it would completely depend on my mood.
Yeah.
If I took it hard or
Was
not.
it your ex-girlfriend?
Huh?
Was it your ex-girlfriend?
no.
It was a car.
It was me.
Oh.
It was my stepmom's car.
My
at the time.
girlfriend, the
I was
car.
driving Julie's car, the purple Subaru.
Yeah.
And then it was you, me, and Chase.
Wow, I don't remember
Yeah.
that, you bastard.
I'm sure this is fascinating for anyone who isn't you guys.
Or Chase. Chase
Or
could be
Chase, hey
watching.
Chase, if you want to talk to us again, it's been years.
So Ethan walks away, and that's the end. That's the end of this chapter, and
Yeah.
presumably,
The end of his life.
The episode.
the episode. The
This episode,
this
yeah.
episode.
He seems like he's doing okay.
Anything we want to say about this batch of chapters? This
Wild.
chap of
It was
bachelors?
Bad
batshit
batch.
insane.
No.
Bad
a good batch, it was a good batch.
Shit insane.
So here's the
It's
thing.
ramping up.
I felt like the first episode we did, insane.
Yeah.
Second episode, a little bit of a lull.
Little
Minor
lull. Lol.
Most insane thing was the robbery.
I am
Yeah.
excited to continue along.
And
like,
then we can't forget about the dream in home invasion.
No, I'm sorry. The Dream Home Invasion was fucking insane.
But then
Yeah.
it turns out that wasn't real. So you're kind of like, it doesn't have that impact on you. Where you're like, yeah, that was an exciting moment, but it has no
wasn't- didn't
effect on the
actually
story.
happen.
And I don't know who the fuck this woman is.
yeah.
yeah, it's,
So I'm
it's
like-
a shame we won't find out who she is in the next
she's the-
chapter.
She's the
Wait, what?
oh, we're big movies are out again. That was cool.
Hey,
I'm really excited.
No. You said she had regular boobs.
Yeah, sorry, they're regular. It was cool they're out though. I'm very excited.
Can't argue with that. I mean, honestly, if I had the choice between seeing breasts or not, I think more often than not I'd want to see some breasts, unless I wasn't feeling like seeing them.
Unless I was not in the mood to be looking at breasts.
You guys are smart.
In which case, I'd probably say no, keep the breasts away.
It would also depend on the context of the situation.
You could also probably leave the breasts out and I could just not look for the moment.
It'll be distracting.
That would be
right?
fine.
That's
Could
also
be-
fine.
It could be uncomfortable.
I would worry inevitably it would desexualize them to me, however, and then I'd no longer be able to, watch the
achieve.
achieve. I like to squish them together.
Go for a little airy time right now. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, Ari
I'm
time.
throw my baseball.
I can go for a little Ari Shafir time right now.
He has this really.
Oh man, I love how he said all those horrible things about everybody.
Oh my God! Did you hear what he said about Kobe Bryant?
Oh God.
He had this
People
really.
keep bringing that up to him. They will not let that go.
And he does.
But and rightfully so.
But
What do you
also
say
the
about
only
Kobe?
the only thing I like is that
God.
he absolutely does not care at all though.
Say that.
I think he doesn't care, but also he seems insecure. What was the joke he made specifically?
I can't remember. It was something about like I'll never fly in
dying?
a helicopter again or whatever. You know what I mean? Or like
No,
There's a good-
when
there's
Kobe
something-
died with his daughter in a helicopter crash, Ari Shafir almost immediately made a very
tasteless joke,
tasteless joke.
which he
I don't even
does
want to
with
repeat it on the show necessarily.
he does with all major celebrity deaths. You know what I mean? He makes
He's
some
such
sort of a
cock.
thing.
I just
Funny.
fucking hate that guy. Like,
He got into
again,
hot water a
it's
few years
not-
ago when
it's not
Aretha
the
Franklin
content of
died.
his jokes more as much as like his like just yeah, I smell it too. His general like
Jay Roland.
he's just like he's so
Oh, what up? It just hit me.
I don't mind like jokes about minority groups or jokes about race and culture and stuff sometimes if it's just like a funny joke that doesn't seem to be rooted in hatred and just being mean for the sake of being mean.
And usually the person who's telling the
controversial.
joke generally has to have like built up a certain amount of like trust or like good favor with you to where you understand that like the intent of the person saying it isn't, you know what I mean? For me, at least personally, to a degree sometimes.
Right. It's kind of like how there's a lot of white writers who work on a lot of black comedy and will
And
make
vice versa.
very like
Yeah.
that's true. But like I'm thinking like Tony Hinchcliffe or Louis
Oh,
C.K.
yeah.
Two people who have been canceled for their behavior. But in
Transgressions.
terms of like Louis C.K. wrote Pootie Tang.
Yeah, with Chris Rock, admittedly, but he was like the head writer.
Right.
On
and like,
Pootie Tang.
Tony Hinchcliffe is like
What a team,
one of the
Davey.
head writers on a lot of black roast shows and like grew up in an old black neighborhood and like can make jokes that might seem like kind of like edgy for a white guy to make, but he knows how to say those things to a black audience and not cause hurt feelings. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas like Ari Shaffir seems like he just wants to hurt people's feelings.
That's what's
'cause he
funny
gets
about it
off
to
on
him.
like making other people feel bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the aspect of it that is funny to him.
He had this really long bit about people with tattoos and how trashy they are, and it was just like every like cliche thing you can say about people with tattoos.
Ari Shaffir?
Yeah.
I like that that's the
It
part
was-
that you're the most offended
It was
by.
just so like I was offended by how bad it was, and like the audience was screaming. They're having a great time. He was like making fun of Joe Rogan.
The only good thing he ever did was that fucking show he had on Comedy Central because it was a good it was a good
good
concept.
come. What's that?
It was the this
Shaffir-
shouldn't be happening, or I can't believe this,
This is not happening or
That's
something?
the
This is
show
not
I was
happening.
talking about.
Yeah,
that's
but
where he has the bit.
he was
His bits are horrible on it.
yeah,
But the concept and
that show continued to continue without him.
yes,
Yeah.
with what's his name? He's a hilarious comedian.
It had like 3 different hosts, I
T.J.
think.
Miller.
No,
I've seen a million people on
I
there.
thought Rel Howard did it or
Joey Diaz. I've seen a ton. Of
oh
people
man,
on
there's
that show.
no
What's his-
hosts.
the hosts, not the
I-
people
I
who've just
only
been
watched
on it.
the
The guy who
segments.
hosted.
I've never watched the actual. I've never seen that.
He's a
show.
shorter black guy. He's really funny.
Kevin
He's got
Hart?
like a mustache. He's got a really thin mustache. It's a little chubby.
It's not Lil Rel Howard?
It's not Lil Ray Howard, no.
Hannibal.
Oh,
No, but he's the similar. Why can't I remember his name?
it's killing me.
Because he was the host right afterwards, and he had been on the show beforehand, and he's also a hilarious comedian. We're gonna totally derail. The episode's over, but if you want to hang out and figure out,
All right, the episode's over. Crazy game. Love it. Can't wait. I'm so excited for you guys to see. There's one scene in particular that I'm so excited to replay because I didn't replay anything.
Right.
And also, there was a pack of DLC episodes called the
What?
Heavy Rain Chronicles that were only on PS3, and only one of them came out. And they were supposed to like further expand the backstories of the characters. And so there's one that explains like Norman Jaden has a scar on his face, which I don't remember.
I don't remember
But
seeing
it
that.
explains how he gets his scar.
What? He has
Okay.
such a like to my memory. He's like baby face.
Smooth
I'm
face.
going off what I
Remarkably.
read this like just before we shot this.
Roy Wood Jr.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's it.
that's his name.
The show's good though.
He used to work at a Cracker Barrel, so
If in case
Golden
anyone
Corral,
doesn't
sorry,
know,
Golden Corral.
the show is it called This Is Not Happening?
this is not happening. Yeah,
It's basically The Moth. It's a storytelling show where comedians just tell like
Wild.
just the
Personal
craziest
experiences.
personal story they could
yeah.
remember.
That they the concept also was to originally make sure that they weren't a bit that they had told previously.
right. It's
And
not.
with-
It's not a bit. I mean, there's
No, yeah.
there's beats to it sometimes.
Yes, but it can't
But
be
it's
a
mostly storytelling.
It can't be a story that they've told before in a set. You
And
know what I mean?
With an emphasis on authenticity too, like they wanted to tell real stories. So
Yes.
the Burt Kreischer machine story that's definitely real wasn't on that show. Probably because he said it before, not because it's not real or not true.
I don't know about that story, but did you watch the Artie Lang
was real.
episode?
The Artie Lang episode, yeah.
No,
If you like that, Artie Lang has 2 books.
Artie Lang is.
He's had a rough time.
Crazy.
Artie Lang- Artie Lang-
His stories are.
Didn't he like stab himself like 10 times or
Yeah.
something?
He drank
In a
bleach,
suicide
stabbed himself,
attempt?
and I think he took some pills and he didn't die.
Artie Lang's autobiography. I believe he has 2 books. I can't remember what they're both called, but man, they are totally worth checking out. Even if you get him an audiobook, it's just like his stories in those books.
But like only context
Like
of him.
imagine like crackhead stories.
Yeah.
And imagine crackhead
With
stories
$1
with
million,
money.
Yeah.
He,
It's like I saw Dirty Deeds and that was like really my only context of Artie
Dirty Work.
Lang. Dirty Work, sorry, Dirty Work.
Which
He
is
has a-
free on YouTube.
Great movie.
Free with ads.
Genuinely
So-
great movie.
There's a video made by Sunny V2, who some of you might be familiar with, talking about Artie Lang, and it's if you want a little sample about his life. I watched it like yesterday actually. It's surprising that we're talking about Artie Lang. Grim life. So I'm not surprised that he has some.
But he got clean and
wicked
sober
stories.
eventually.
Yeah.
After he caved his face in with too much cocaine.
Yeah, he was doing cocaine one time, and they were using some sort of glass like thing to like dispense it or something, or to crush it up, and it like some of the glass broke with it, and he snorted up a bunch of broken glass, It immediately sends you to the hospital. That fucks you up.
I'd imagine, yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of why.
It's like mostly he just degraded his sinus cavity until it literally fucking.
Like heroin,
Oh,
cocaine.
God.
He's at a.
But there's some funny stories. Anyway.
Real
anyway,
funny
anyway,
stuff.
Anyway. Hey, at the end of this batch of episodes, Ethan's being taunted by the killer.
Yeah.
But he's proved his courage.
I'm excited to see.
So
I'm
far.
excited
So far,
to see the
yeah.
rest of the challenges.
Any more insight on who the killer is?
Still not really. I
Still,
mean, Ethan is in like
surprised if we've seen him.
Ethan is in this mindset where he's like, it's me, but he's like he's wrestling with that right now. And I
think that's a
really
red
don't.
herring. I
I
think he's
really
not.
don't think it's Ethan. Yeah, I agree. I think it's
I'm tempted
it's one of
to
those
make him
things
think
where
that
like
he is.
it's too easy. You know what I mean?
You want to gaslight Ethan?
Right? Yeah,
Ethan
just
do it.
gaslight it. But no, but it's like it seems like that's what they want you to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They want you to assume it's Ethan. It's the easy thing. Maybe this new lady is the killer because we haven't entertained that it could be a woman. With that's like
Jacked off to a murderer.
yeah, why not? So haven't you
Yeah.
seen the movie Monster?
No.
Well, you should, and bring some
I
Kleenex.
couldn't finish it. It made me too emotional.
I couldn't not finish.
That's the movie about like the Christina Ricci and
No, the monster is monster is Charlize Theron
Right.
as Eileen Wuornos.
with Christina Ricci.
Is Christina Ricci in it?
Isn't she the?
I've never seen the
Isn't
movie.
she her young lover? Oh, really?
I've never seen the movie. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
it made me too upset. I couldn't
making a
finish
joke.
it. I was just way too upset by it.
Yeah, it's a very sad story.
I'm glad you
of
were
her life.
jacking off.
Bye.
I've never seen the movie, so obviously I didn't fucking jack off to it.
Who's smoking weed right now?